So this is the final requirement of programming. Let me just read this quotation. Never stop learning because life never stops teaching, by Lynn Bernilian. The table of contents of this presentation. Number 1, what is for loop? Number 2, what is while loop? Number 3, what is do while loop? What is if else statement? Number 5, what is switch case statement? Number 6, what are the difference of for loop, while loop, and do while loop? Number 7, what is the difference of if else statement and switch case statement? So, number 1, what is for loop? It is a repetition control structure that allows you to efficiently write a loop that needs to execute a specific number of times. So this is the syntax. The control flow in for loop. The init step or initialize step is executed first and only once. This step allows you to declare and initialize any loop control variable. You are not required to put a statement here as long as a semicolon appears. Next, the condition is evaluated. If it is true, the body of the loop is executed. If it is false, the body of the loop does not execute and flow and of control jumps to the next statement just after the for loop. After the body of the for loop executes, the flow of control jumps back up to the increment statement. The statement can be left blank as long as semicolon appears after the condition. The condition is now evaluated again. If it is true, the loop executes and the process repeats itself. After the condition becomes false or the loop terminates. So this is the diagram or the flow diagram. Then what is while loop? It is a statement repeatedly execute a target as long as a given condition is true. Or it is a statement, maybe a single statement or a block of statements. The condition may be any expression and true is any non-zero value. The loop iterates while the condition is true. Then, when the condition becomes false, the program control passes to the line immediately following the loop. So this is the syntax. Control flow in while loop. Displayed here is the flow diagram of while loop. While loop is the loop might not ever run. When the condition is tested and the result is false, the loop body will be skipped and the first statement after the while loop will be executed. So next is, what is do while loop? It is just similar to while loop, except that do while loop is guaranteed to execute at least one time. So this is the syntax. And right here is the flow diagram and the control flow in do while loop. The conditional expression appears at the end of the loop. So the statements in the loop execute once before the condition is tested. And if the condition is true, the flow of control jumps back up to do, and the statement in the loop execute again. This process repeats until the given condition becomes false. What is if-else statement? An if statement can be followed by an else statement, which executes when the Boolean expression is false. So this is the syntax of if-else. So this is the control flow in if-else statement. If the Boolean expression evaluates to true, then the if block of code will be executed. Otherwise, else block of code will be executed. So right here is the flow diagram of if-else statement. Next, what is switch case statement? It allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. Each value is called a case, and the variable being switched on is checked for each case. The syntax of switch case statement is right here. Then the rules to apply in switch case statement. The expression used in switch statement must have an integral or enumerated type, or be of a class type in which the class has a single conversion function to an integral or enumerated type. You can have any number of case statement within a switch. Each case is followed by the value of to be compared to be and a colon. The rules to apply in the switch case statement. The expression used in a switch statement must have an integral or enumerated type, or be of a class type in which the class has a single conversion function to an integral or enumerated type. You can have any number of case statement within a switch. Each is followed by the value to be compared and to a colon. The constant expression for a case must be the same data type as the variable in the switch, and it must be a constant or literal. When the variable is being switched on is equal to a case, the statements following that case will execute until a break statement is reached. When a break statement is reached, the switch terminates and the flow of control jumps to the next line following the switch statement. Not every case needs to contain a break. If no break appears, the flow of control will fall through to subsequent cases until a break is reached. A switch statement can have an optional default case, which must appear at the end of the switch. The default case can be used for performing a task. When none of the cases is true, no break is needed in the default case. So next is, what are the difference between for loop, while loop, and do while loop? In for loop, the initialization once done is never repeated, while in while loop, if initialization is done during condition checking, then the initialization is done each time the loop iterates. In for loop, iteration statement is written at top, then executes after all statements in loop are executed. In do while loop, it is similar to while loop. However, there is a difference between them. In while loop, condition is evaluated first and then the statements inside loop body gets executed. On the other hand, in do while loop, statements inside the do while loop gets executed first and then condition is evaluated. And lastly, what is the difference between if-else statement and switch case statement? The switch case statement is similar to the else-if ladder as it provides multiple branching or multi-conditional processing. But the basic difference between switch case and if-else or else-if ladder is the switch case statement tests the value of variable or expression against a series of different cases or values until a match is found. Then the block of code within that match case is executed. If there are no matches, the optional default case is executed. A conditional statement that executes a different set of statements based on the condition that is true or false, whereas the switch case is a conditional statement that checks the value of a variable and compare it with all the cases. Thank you very much.